Andrea from the team at We Love Baking. Today I'm going to share with you how I make my raspberry and white chocolate tart. We are going to make our base, so I've got an empty bowl here, and into that I'm going to pop my digestive biscuits. Now I've already crushed these. You can do it with a rolling pin or in a food processor, whichever is easier for you. Crush them into crumbs, and those are going into my mixing bowl. And into that I am going to add some melted butter. I love making this base because it's so easy. It's just 2 ingredients, biscuits and melted butter. Once everything is mixed together, it should all start to clump and look a bit like lovely damp sand. That is perfect. So I'm going to tip that into my tart tin. That is 20 centimeters across. So we're going to put all this in, and then we're going to press it into the bottom and up the sides of the tin. Right, and once that is done, that is going to go into my fridge to chill while I make my raspberry filling. So while my base is chilling in my fridge, I'm going to make my raspberry filling. So into a saucepan, because I'm going to cook this down, I'm going to pop in my raspberries. I'm using fresh raspberries today, but you can absolutely use frozen raspberries too. So into that, I'm going to add a splash of water. And then this is going to get cooked down for a few minutes just to soften my raspberries a little bit and to release some of the juices and to get that process going. Right, so once you have cooked your raspberries down, they will be really soft and will have completely broken down. Squish them with your spatula, and then we're going to set that aside just for a moment while we prepare the rest of it. Now, with the rest of my water, I am going to put some corn flour. I'm going to dissolve some corn flour, and this is going to help with thickening that raspberry mixture when it gets into the tart. So this is a tablespoon of corn flour. I'm just going to pop that in and mix it all up so that I get a bit of a corn flour slurry. That corn flour should have dissolved really nicely into the rest of your water. And the reason we put water in and do it this way rather than putting it in there is because if you put it directly in there, you'll end up with lumps of corn flour. So you'll get white lumps throughout your raspberry mixture and the whole way through the tart as well. If you've never used it before, it's a brilliant way of thickening things up without resorting to things like gelatin. It's just another alternative. So into my raspberry mixture, I'm going to add some sugar. Now I'm using caster sugar today. I'm using Tate caster sugar to give sweetness because it's got smaller grains than granulated sugar, so it dissolves much more easily, and it's going to give a lovely sweetness to my raspberry filling. One of the reasons I like using Tate sugar is because they use cane sugar rather than beet sugar, which gives me a lovely sweet flavour in my bakes rather than more of an earthy flavour. So to the raspberry mixture, I'm now going to pop in that corn flour mixture that I prepared earlier. Just give it a quick little mix because sometimes corn flour can settle and separate from the liquid. So that's going in as well. And this is now going to go back on the hob, and I'm going to cook it until it's thickened. So once it's been cooked for a couple of minutes at the most, it should not take much longer than that. It will have gone really lovely and thick and almost slightly jam-alike. That's exactly what we want. So we're going to leave that to cool just for a few minutes before we pop it onto the base that we've got chilling in the fridge. So once your raspberry mixture has cooled down a little bit, it'll start to solidify, as you can see there. That is exactly what we want. So I've got my biscuit base out of the fridge. I'm going to pop this into the biscuit base and level it out, and then it's going to go back in the fridge to chill. I'm going to make the white chocolate ganache to go on top. So into a saucepan, I'm going to do this on the hob. You can do this in the microwave too if that's easier. Both work just fine. I'm going to pop my white chocolate in, my double cream, and my butter. This is unsalted butter. So all of that is going to get heated up really gently on the hob. I'm going to melt it all together, and when it's nice and smooth, we simply pour it over the tart. So once your chocolate has melted, everything has melted together, you've got this. It's kind of like a ganache, but it's not because it's got butter in. Ganache is just double cream and chocolate, but the butter is going to make it really soft, and you can see how lovely and luxurious it is. So all I'm going to do with this is it's just going to go over my raspberry layers. Once you have got your white chocolate in there, I'm just going to grab the sides of my tin and I'm just going to tap it on my table a couple of times. And what that's going to do is that's going to help any air bubbles that are stuck in the chocolate mixture and the chocolate layer come near the top. So you can see, if you have a look at my mixture, that there are a whole bunch of air bubbles that are coming up to the top. And what I can do then is I can use a toothpick, or if there's any particularly big ones, I can just pop them so we get a nice smooth layer on top. So all I like to do is a little bit of the raspberry filling left over, I'm just going to drizzle it over a little bit of the tart, and then we're going to finish it up with a few extra raspberries for decoration. And there you have it, my raspberry and white chocolate tart. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Don't forget to hit the like button and let us know in the comments below if you make it. Thanks for joining us today, my friends. Happy baking.